remember that last video I made like almost 3 months ago where I said, hey, I'm gonna try my very best to upload once a week, and then 3 months went by and that didn't end up happening? Hey, how you doing? To be completely honest, over the past 3 months, I've just been busy with life, busy with work, patiently waiting for car parts to arrive. So I hope you guys have been good to the start of your 2025 car season. It's been good for me, a little slow, a little quiet, but still enjoying my cars to the fullest. And in this video, we are doing something that I have been waiting so patiently long for, and it has to do with my Ferrari 360. Thing with Ferrari is that parts are expensive. And even though I have a 360, it is by no means a $300,000, $400,000 Ferrari. And sometimes I just don't have the pockets to be able to splurge on brand new headlights for this thing. To go to Ferrari and ask them, hey, I want brand new color matched headlights for my 2002 Ferrari 360, it would have been a bill upwards of $7 grand. And to spend that much money on a set of headlights, while in the supercar world, that is fairly cheap when it comes to headlights, it's still something that I could not stomach. So I ended up leaving the headlights as they were, not touching them until I came up with a solution. And what ended up happening is that I found a company overseas that remanufactures new lenses for Ferrari 360 headlights for a really good deal. I think both lenses were under 700 bucks. That I'm fine with spending all day long, so I pulled the trigger on that. And the funny thing about 360 headlights is they're technically not meant to come apart. So taking them apart is a huge chore. Half the time, most people break their lenses. They break everything when they try and take them apart. So I didn't want to deal with that headache. So I ended up sending my headlights up to my friends in Connecticut at the lab, where they primarily work on supercars, exotic stuff, restorations, things like that. I could trust them with the headlights and the new lenses, and I just got them back yesterday. So it is time to finally fix the one thing that has been bugging me the most about my 360. So let's unwrap this, show you guys what we got. Take a look at these boys. Brand spanking new. Color matched black to the car. Oh my gosh. These things look brand new. They look like they just came off of a brand new 360 back in 2002. And what's cool is the lab sent me back my old lenses as well, which is really nice because these things are like gold mines for 360 owners. So I get to refinish these, but I just want to compare them side by side so that you guys can see the before and after. They are absolutely dusted. You can see someone in the past had tried to get in there and clean it, and they did a terrible job. And yeah, they were able to get these lenses off. It took a little bit of the interior paint of the like headlight housing with it, so they decided to repaint the inside as well for me. Nero black, same color as the car. But it is finally time to refresh the front end of this car, put these new headlights back in, put the whole front end back together, get this thing looking beautiful again, which means I think it's safe to say the Ferrari build is finally starting. So it might look like an easy process to put these headlights back in, but that's not the case. They have to go back in through the wheel well. And also, sorry if I'm super sweaty, I still don't have AC in this building. It's on the list, trust me, but for now we're just gonna tough through it, get these guys put back on. I thought for sure these ALIBABA Swiss tracks would have cracked under the jack stands, but surprisingly, they haven't yet. They bent a little bit, but they look fine. Now, thankfully, the homies over at Viper sent this fan out at the perfect time for me to need to do some work in the shop. This is their 24-inch industrial fan. Super quiet for how strong it is, and it's perfect for in the shop doing stuff like this. guys, just from looking at this, I know it's kind of hard to see with the hex lights, but holy crap, this is such a transformation. I'll put a video on the screen of what this headlight used to look like about a year ago when I first got this car, and this is night and day. Like, it is stunning. Headlights play a huge role with a car, and if they look like crap, they kind of make the entire car look cheap. The entire car look like crap. But comparing this to this, it's night and day. Once this whole thing is put back together, just these headlights alone is gonna transform this car insanely. And I already have the driver's side in completely, which is awesome. So that's all bolted up, ready for the fender liners to get put back. So now I'm gonna move on to the passenger side, get this side knocked out, and then we can put the front bumper back on, which weighs like 60 pounds. I had Sam help me take this off the last time, so we'll see if I can do it by myself and get it lined up properly. So let's get to work. Go, boys. Both headlights are in, and honestly looking pretty invisible. You can only tell from certain angles, but man, that looks so much better. So now, before I put the front bumper and everything back on, I'm actually gonna, turn the car on, make sure all the lights work and everything like that. Because the last thing that I want to have to do is go back and take everything back off because something doesn't work. So I'm going to do that, and then we can start putting the front bumper back on and getting the rest of this car assembled. All right, this is what I've been waiting a year for, to see this car with fresh, clean headlights on it, and it was well worth the wait, I tell you what. Like, it just transformed this thing so much. No more dingy, dusty crap. This is exactly what this car needed. They just blend in and disappear. It's perfect. Now I'm gonna take a 15-minute break, get some water, chill out for a bit, and then I'm gonna wash this thing. And the beauty about this garage is, unknowingly, when I had it built, they did a tiny little bit of a slope in the concrete. So I can wash a car in here and all the water will evacuate out of the garage. It's perfect. It's just the right amount of space to be able to wash both cars, and this thing deserves it. It's been sitting for a while, so I'm gonna go grab a water, relax for a bit, and then we're gonna give this thing the wash it deserves. Right now, me and Joey, who you guys might know from Drift HQ and Sim HQ, we're out getting some rollers of the century. I don't know if the video came out before or after this video on my channel, but it's for that. I've been wanting to make a car feature for so long, and the last one that I made, like, officially was of the Soarer like 5 years ago, and I haven't made one since. I've just been stuck in the work grind, and I really want to make another one. So the past few months I've been putting one together, and right now all we need left is rollers. So that's what we're going to do now. We're heading out to the highway. He's got his Corolla and his Tilta Magic Arm rig, Sony a7S III, Ronin RS4 gimbal, for those of anyone that's curious. And yeah, we're gonna get some nice shots and then finish it all off at an old, like, rundown skate park to get some final clips. So it should be cool. You guys, I have been editing in this exact chair for the past six and a half years. I brought this chair with me from Massachusetts. This is just one of those bare bones Office Max father lazy boy lounge chairs. And honestly, it's horrible. But thankfully, because of today's video sponsor, I get to retire this old girl, kick this thing goodbye, say hello to the FlexiSpot C7. If I could compare this chair to cars, I would compare my old chair to like a 2007 Lincoln Navigator with the shocks blown out. And I would compare this FlexiSpot C7 to a Rolls Royce that just left the line. I've used that old chair so much to the point where the backrest is leaning completely to one side. The back of it's all torn up. But with this new C7, I can already tell that my back is going to forgive me a whole lot more. With the latex padded seat cushion, the adjustable lumbar support in the back, and the adjustable headrest, it's gonna make my editing experience that much better. This chair has 128 degrees of recline, as well as 4 different lockout positions for the backrest. The 3D adjustable armrests are nuts. They can do full rotation this way, they can rotate around this way, and they have height adjustment up and down, so you can make sure that you are as comfortable as possible. And speaking of comfort, one thing I did not have with my old chair is a pull-out footrest. So if you guys have an old office chair that needs retiring, or maybe you're even watching this video in one right now, I would highly encourage you to click the link in my description and check out this C7 from FlexiSpot. It is phenomenal. And to help you guys out a little bit more, you can use the code C750 for $50 off of this bad boy, along with a 30-day trial. So if you don't like it, you could return it, but I guarantee you won't. Thank you so much, FlexiSpot, for not only saving my back, but sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to it. Decided to head over to the compound so that I could utilize one of Adam's lifts with the Ferrari, because I just got a big box in the mail and I'm very excited to dig into this. I have been waiting a very long time, and as you can probably tell from the title of this video, it's a new exhaust for the 360. I don't want to waste any time. I've been waiting too long for this, so let's unbox this and see what we got. So what we have here is a full titanium exhaust with X-pipe, valves, the whole nine for the 360, and it even included test pipes. Now this isn't the crazy $20,000 exhaust that you guys probably think that I could afford, which I definitely cannot. This is a more budget-friendly option. Now I picked this exhaust up for right around $3,000, all in with the test pipes and everything. This exhaust came from overseas, and I wanted to test it out and see if it was a good option. Now when I was shopping and I was looking at this exhaust, they actually sent me video footage and sound clips of what this exhaust sounds like on the 360, and it sounded beautiful. So I think it's going to work out really well. So I want to see if it can live up to those examples. So today we're going to install this and see what it sounds like. But before that, I wanted to go outside real quick and get a before sound clip, because my car actually has an exhaust on it already. It's an old school Larini catback exhaust. It sounds good. It's not the crazy loudest exhaust in the world, and it could definitely sound a whole lot better. These cars, when they're opened up, they sound just like old school F1 cars, and that's the sound I'm chasing. I need that in my life. It's so beautiful. So I really hope that this exhaust can pull that off. So let's go grab that before sound clip and then head in the shop. right, so now that we got the exhaust officially glowing red hot, it's time to pull it off. I've got my lovely assistant here with me today. Well, like 3/4 of the way here, I realized that I left the wheel lock key in the backyard garage because I've been doing some test fitting recently and completely forgot to bring it with me. So we're gonna have the fun time trying to figure out how to get the back wheels off, because in order to get the rear bumper off, you have to take them off to get to certain bolts. That's fun. Either way, we're gonna figure it out. I don't think I mentioned this either, but I swapped the little turn signals for some clear ones. These were orange, just like the fronts here. They look so much better. Eventually, this is gonna get completely deleted with a new little kit, so I hope you guys are excited for that. But let's get this thing up in the air, try and figure out the first steps, and we can go from there. That went way easier than the other side did. I definitely might have just ugga-duggaed the driver's side on at my house, not the passenger side. Maybe that's why. Don't ugga-dugga your lug nuts on, kids. Use a torque wrench. Look at that meat. So in order to get the rear bumper off these cars, the whole underside like diffuser section is attached to it. So the whole thing comes off as one big piece. There's an access panel in here. And once you take that off, there's, I think, 2 big bolts towards the backside of the bumper. You pop those off and then the entire thing just slides off. So it's gonna look pretty crazy. All right, rear bumper's off. Really was not that bad at all. These cars are super easy to take apart, which I love. Rear bumper is massive. The thing probably weighs just as much as the front bumper did. It's full of all the crash structure and all that stuff. But now we get to disassemble the Larini exhaust, which seems to be really, really simple. We've got 5 bolts on either side here to disconnect the exhaust tips, and then there's 4 bolts that hold the muffler on, and then 1 bolt on both of the cats to disconnect the whole cat bag system from the car. So should be pretty straightforward. I'm excited to get to work, so let's tear this exhaust out. Entire Larini exhaust setup is out of the car. That was super simple to do. I would equate this to doing one of Adam's Porsches, which we've done a dozen times now at this point. Front bumper off, exhaust off in probably like 30 minutes. Very simple. So now I have to remove the factory cats, and there are these big boys right here on both sides. When I ordered the exhaust, I had the option to go with 300, 200, or 100 cell sport cats. I opted for the 100 cells, and basically what that means, I think it's per inch, but just picture 100 honeycombs per square inch is what, you know, a 100 cell cat would look like. A 300 cell cat would have 300 per square inch, which would muffle the car's sound that much more. So I wanted the most free-flowing cat that I could get while still having just a little bit of restriction to kind of clean the car up, not make it super stinky, all that stuff. I'm gonna get these cats ripped out. I got 2 temperature sensors here, and then on the other side of the air filters, there's 2 O2 sensors. Once I take all that off, they should slide right off. Maybe I'll sell them. I don't know how much Ferrari cats are, but to me, if I was the one buying cats, it sounds like something I'd want to buy. So I don't know. Maybe I'll hang on to them. Maybe I'll take us out on a nice steak dinner. All right, got both cats out. Those boys, the behemoths. But I discovered something interesting when I took the passenger side cat off. It was a little crunchy sounding. That is no bueno. So this is what I was talking about with the cell counts. So this is a stock cat, and these guys, I don't know, maybe 400 or 500 cell per inch, but they shouldn't be falling apart like that. And it's a notorious thing with 360s that the cats can fail, they can break up, get sucked back into the engine and completely kill it. I looked into the header and I can see the piece that broke off, but nothing else is dislodged. I took the shop vac, I tried to suck out anything that was in there. Everything in there is still solid, but it's definitely something I'm gonna keep an eye on because I don't want to chance anything with this motor whatsoever. They're small fortunes to replace and I just don't feel like dealing with that. I'm gonna do my due diligence and make sure that any loose material is cleaned out of both headers before I start assembling the new exhaust on. And I'm gonna start looking into aftermarket headers for the near future so that I can just kind of get rid of this problem completely. So yeah, that's fun. But at least now you can kind of see and we can compare the cell counts. This is still very warm to the new cats. All right, so now we're gonna start the installation of the Sport Cats, the 100 cell cats that I got. And I wanted to show you guys the difference. I'll use a piece from the factory cat. So I've got one of the Sport Cats with me, and this is a chunk of the factory cat, which is kind of scary to think about. You can see the amount of honeycomb that's within this little tiny piece here. Now, if you look inside the new cat, you can see the openings are much bigger than the factory honeycomb. So that's gonna allow a whole lot more airflow, which is great, a little bit more sound, and I'm stoked for that. So I'm gonna get these installed. They should be pretty straightforward, and then we can move on to the exhaust. We got both Sport Cats in. It's a little bit of a pain in the ass. The first time around, I put them in backwards. Then I had to take them back out, swap them around, put them back in. The OEM cats only had one O2 sensor bung, but these ones had two. So I had to find a couple O2 block offs, which I got right there. And then these little temperature sensors that go into the cats. The inlet hole on these new cats was too small to accept the factory ones. So I had to find a drill and a drill bit, drill those out so that the sensors would fit back in there, because I don't really know anything that we have here that I could have used to plug those up. And I really don't want the code on my dash anyway. So now that we have the cats in there, they're fitted loosely. That way there's, you know, some adjustment that can be made. We're gonna take the main section of the exhaust, get that fitted up. This section mounts with 2 bolts on either side here. So if you have a 360 and you look in your engine bay and you don't have this bracket, then you're gonna need to get one from another source, because this is what holds the entire exhaust up. But I think we're good to start test fitting that thing, getting it in there. Sam left early to go let the animals out, run some errands, so she's no longer here, which means you guys are going back on the tripod. But now this is the fun part. We get to start seeing this whole thing come together, and it's gonna look sick and hopefully sound just as good. This thing looks fucking sick in the engine bay. I love the way that this is going. This has gone very smoothly. Like I said earlier in this video, I think that this definitely would equate to me and Adam doing one of his Porsche exhausts. It's just kind of out and in, everything lines up really nice. For this being an overseas exhaust, sometimes you can luck out and find a hidden gem, and sometimes you're not so lucky. I think this time I found a hidden gem. And if this thing sounds good too, then I definitely found a hidden gem. But I already got everything kind of aligned, at least to my eye from the back. I wanted to make sure that the top pipe was as level as possible with the center logo. which it looks to be very nice. Now that I have the main section in, I'm gonna get everything tight, and then from there we can build off with the side tubes, and then we can go get the exhaust tips, but we can't do any of that until we get the bumper back on so that we can make sure the alignment is good. But we're getting there. I've been here for like 3 hours, 3 or 4 hours. New exhaust is going in, taking my time, just chilling, not trying to rush things, and it's coming out great. We're on the home stretch. I got the exhaust tips on, got everything kind of lined up in a happy place in the back of the bumper. The last thing that I do before I put the wheels on and start testing for leaks is the valves. When this exhaust showed up, it came with its own valve kit, and this is where I thought things were kind of funny. So here's the valve kit. About a year ago, I did an exhaust video on the Century. I used Valvetronic mufflers that have valves in them to be able to control loud or quiet, and they sent me this kit with their setup. And then I got to thinking more and more. I was like, you know what? This exhaust looks very familiar to a lot of the stuff that they make. It's very possible that this came from the same factory, which would be cool because we know Valvetronic sounds amazing, which means this thing's gonna sound amazing. But when I did the Century exhaust, that car never came with a valved exhaust. However, the Ferrari did. And when I was in here poking around trying to find some stuff, I found this vacuum line that was capped off and an identical one on the other side of the car. So I think that that is the vacuum line setup for the original exhaust that came on this car. So what I want to do is take those bolts out of the vacuum lines, try and tee it up to where it can go straight to this new exhaust and see if the factory valve control works, because if it does, that would be fucking awesome. At the end of the day, if I can keep the things that I'm cramming in the car to a minimum, like this ECU and all of this, you know, highlighter blue vacuum line, then I'm gonna do that. So I'm gonna push this kit to the side. I'm gonna undo those bolts, get the valve system hooked up, and we'll see if the car can control it when we start it. And that's it. New Ferrari exhaust is installed. I gotta say, I really enjoy working on this thing. Knock on wood. That's not wood. Every time that I've had to work on this car, it's been a pleasure. Everything's easy to get to, everything's easy to understand. And taking this exhaust off and putting another one back on, it was just like adult Legos. I really, really enjoyed it. But now is the time that we've all been waiting for. And what the heck does this exhaust sound like? I've been waiting months to find out, so let's start it up. Okay, that's actually fucking nuts. Got my arm really good on the exhaust. I've got a little exhaust leak by the one suspected place that I thought I was gonna have one, so I'm gonna give it a little bit more turns on the mount, but holy shit, this thing sounds night and day. I have these because I did not realize the valves only open when you're like spiritedly driving in sport mode. It's not like you just click sport mode on and the valves open. Kind of like a, you know, adaptive wing, you know, it's only gonna go up once you're doing crazy speeds and crazy RPM. So I snipped the valve line for now. Maybe in the future I'll plug in the valve system that came with the exhaust so that we can turn it on and off, but for now, I think I'm just gonna run it open because that sounds incredible. I'm gonna go fix this leak and then let's go for a drive. This exhaust turned out to be a gem. I can't wait. I can't fucking wait. I'm gonna turn the AC off. Got the window down. Oh my God. The downshifts are so nuts now. Oh my fucking God, man. Hopefully this audio is good. If it's not, I'll find out when I'm editing and I'll get some better footage before this video is over, but I'm just all smiles right now. All right, so I just finished another day here at the compound. I wasn't too stoked on the driving footage from the weekend. I just really pussyfoot this thing, and I don't need to. Try and give it a real good rip here, and we'll see how it sounds again. I've got an exhaust in the engine, got an exhaust, I do. I've gotten a mic in the engine bay this time. I don't know, I think I showed Adam once when I first got this car what it sounded like, and it sounded cool, but now it's a whole lot cooler.
Hey, did you tell him it was kind of my idea to get this exhaust?
Yeah, it actually was a lot of Adam's
And Mike's
idea.
really happy, and I saved him a lot of money.
I'm stoked on it.
Yeah, we all win in that equation.
I would have spent triple on the same note, but...
Fully and all that.
Should get some color in there from driving?
A little bit.
Not bad, not bad. You got the valves up in there.
Yeah, they're disconnected right now, but...
Let me see what I can judge. Really, dude, a 10.9 JH bolt on a Ferrari. I don't know what that means, but the cats are cool.
Yeah, they're 100 cell, so a little bit more free-flowing.
Oh, that came with the kit?
Technically, yeah.
Oh,
yeah, it was
cool.
an add-on for their kit.
Yeah, good move. You don't want to delete cats or replace on raspy.
Yeah.
And the EPA would come knocking on your door.
Freaking immobilizer, I need to delete that shit.
That's good. Sounds like a Ferrari now.
It does.
Does it feel faster?
Just because of the sound.
But
yes.
It's not actually faster?
I would say maybe like 10 horsepower, but it's hard for me to feel that.
And that's a decent jump.
Yeah. I was worried my neighbors were going to be pissed at me, but they're actually stoked.
Really?
So, yeah.
They told you?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I was making burgers last night, and my neighbor was outside watering his plants, and I was just like, hey, I'm sorry if my car's louder. He's like, oh, it's sick, I don't care.
That sounds sick. Yeah.
The little pops and bangs are new.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm a fan. I'm not a big pop and bang guy, but they're cool. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry it took me so long to come back to the channel. Between work and stuff, it just felt nice taking a little bit of a break and not filming 7 days a week. But I do want to keep making content on this channel for you guys. So we've got some very cool stuff coming very soon for the 360, and I'm looking at it right now and I'm very, very excited. So pretty much once this video goes up, I'm gonna start working on the next video, and this is only the beginning for this car. So thank you guys very much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.